And welcome. This is The Guys Next Door. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, with special guest co-host, Andres Reese.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good to be here, man.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah.
And we're brought to you by Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this week, we have a special guest from Nexa Mortgage.
That's right. Nexa Mortgage. Mm-hmm.
Maximilian Neves.
Yes, sir. Nieves. That's
Nieves.
Close enough, though.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, get a little closer to your mic.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. All right.
Nice. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're getting hand signals from the production, so he keeps guiding us.
There we go.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your position as a mortgage loan originator.
All right. So like we introduced, I am Maximilian Nieves. Some people call me Mr. Gold. I am a mortgage broker. I work for Nexa Mortgage. So as a broker, I have no loyalty to any bank. I just have loyalty to my customers, and we work with over 250 different lenders. So we can do literally any and all mortgage things you could think about. So we could do cash out refis, residential, commercial, industrial. We do land. We do SBA financing. You name it. So I like to, talk to other loan officers and just see what they do and where I can fill in the gaps. So
okay.
yeah, always looking for a challenge.
Yeah, since you're not working for one bank or one specific place, then you can go out and find the best deal that fits your customer, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's the ideal. And the average person that uses a broker typically saves around $10,000. So.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That's a
Okay.
big chunk of money.
Yeah, that is.
For sure.
So on mortgage rates, are mortgage rates starting to come down?
They are starting to come down. So before we've been firmly in the sevens. Now I just priced one today. We're in the upper sixes. But just the interest rate that we offer you just for existing can also be lowered. I mean, there's lots of ways to lower your interest rate. You could buy it down permanently. You could do a temporary buy down. So basically buy it down a certain point. You're going to have to qualify for the par rate, meaning the rate that it normally is. But let's say we can buy your rate down 2 points.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So, I mean, there's lots of ways to structure really any loan. So while interest rates are coming down, something to also think about too is that they can change by the hour, and yeah, the interest rate in the morning is not going to be necessarily the same interest rate in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. So rates can go up and down just based on the market.
Nice. So how can people be aware of this when it comes to the rates? Is there something that they can do to be more aware of if it's going up, if it's going down? And what would your suggestions be if somebody is focused on just the rate? What advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, it really starts with who you are as a borrower before you even come to see someone like myself. So making yourself the most attractive to the bank. I mean, that means having money saved up, even if we're not going to use it for the transaction. It's called reserves. So basically, they look at money that could be maybe in an IRA or savings account that you're not going to use for closing costs or down payment, but it just makes the bank get the all warm and fuzzies inside because they know that, God forbid, you lose your job or something, you have money to fall back on.
Exactly.
Making sure your credit is as high as possible is also super important. So, that means actually knowing what your credit score is. I mean, there's plenty of free programs out there like Credit Karma and Credit Sesame that can give you kind of a snapshot of your credit, but there's actually multiple credit scoring that goes on. Like there's a different ratio or credit score for if you buy a car loan, as opposed to a FICO loan. So, it's knowing what your credit is, talking to a loan officer. We almost all have programs that once we pull your credit, we can do a scenario that shows you how to get your credit where you want to be. So just a real life scenario, someone came to me with a 620 credit score, and in 29 days, we got them up to 700.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and because like everybody, comes at it like, oh, I'm just going to pay more on my credit cards, right, to get a better credit score. And while that can work, it's like trying to do like HVAC, but all you have is a hammer. You have the best intentions. Maybe you can get something done, but actually, coming to a professional, someone who looks at it all the time, we can tell you how to get where you want to be much faster and much more efficient than, just pounding around with a blunt object. So
like you said, you had a formula, or you have a formula that you can have someone follow, and if they take those steps, then they can improve their credit score.
Right. And as little as 29 days. So for this particular borrower, it meant a down payment of 25% down to a down payment of 20%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if we're talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which
Right.
we were, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
huge amount.
It is, yeah.
You know, and then God forbid, you know, or not God forbid, but if you continue just to make your payments and don't do anything else, your credit's going to continue to go up. And
Right.
anytime you borrow money for anything going forward, you're going to pay less for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, when your credit score is bad, everything's more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you can even get approved. So,
Yeah, that's true.
mhm.
That's true. So is there any programs for or assistance for first-time buyers?
Oh, yes. There's plenty of programs out there. So one of my favorites is what they'll actually do is give you a grant for your down payment. So if you go FHA loan, typically that's 3.5% down of the purchase price of the house.
Okay.
They will cover it as a grant, and as long as you make 6 months of payments and are not late, it's completely forgivable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, really everyone's finances are like a snowflake. So like I got to get in there. I got to see, you know, what's going on, you know,
Yeah.
what's going on with your school loans, your debt to income, all these things. But once I know that information, then I can decide, okay, and present options like this is going to be what's best for you. Maybe we're low on down payment. Let's go this route. Maybe we do want, you know, the A+ best interest rate that we want. Let's go here. So it's really about, you know, customizing the loan to you.
Right. Right. And you pretty much already touched on it, but how important is it for people to get pre-qualified before they go out and start looking for that house?
Right. So the pre-qual is really kind of where it all begins, because you don't want to be looking at a $500,000 house and you only qualify for $330,000.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not in the
I've got
industry of
cousins.
breaking hearts. So, you know, I'd rather give it to them straight, let them know what they can afford, and then really set those realistic expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's other products that you offer too. We've talked about, not on the show, but we've talked before about reverse mortgages and HELOCs. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Oh, sure. So, yeah, a reverse mortgage, I'll just go into it briefly, starts at 62. And what it does is it takes away the mortgage and interest payment for the borrower for the rest of their lives.
Nice.
They can purchase a home with reverse, meaning that, you know, if they put a certain amount down, they can just not have a mortgage and interest payment again till the day they pass away. Or if they have a home already, and let's say there's a lot of equity, we can give
Yeah.
a percentage of that to them, and that's a tax-free amount. And, you know, again, we're talking about houses. It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Sure.
And recently, most clients that come to me looking for reverse, it's because they need some kind of care, like medical care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's very expensive. But if you're, you know, if you're already having to pay your mortgage, and not just the savings of not paying the mortgage or interest, but the
Right.
savings of, or the actual cash that's going back to you, I mean, it's a life changer. So,
Yeah.
as far as other products, yeah, I do have a 5-day HELOC. I have
So
cash
explain to
refis.
us what a HELOC
Yeah,
is.
I'm interested in that.
Okay. So a HELOC is a home equity line of credit. So basically, they're going to take up to a certain amount, let's say 80% of your home's value versus what you owe, and they'll give it to you as an interest-only payment for approximately 10 years.
Oh, interest only.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the payment is a lot less. So the last one I did, someone ended up borrowing, I think it was $43,000, and their monthly payment was around, you know, $370.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
because again, it's interest only, and it's a line of credit. So let's say you don't draw all that line of credit, you can come back. You usually have like a 3-year period that you can draw more money out of, and again, there's no cost to you. So
Okay.
it's a great way to use your equity while not changing your existing mortgage payment. Because you know, lots of people, I think 40% of everyone who has a mortgage has something around like 3% around that area. Because
Yeah.
when that, you know, the interest rates are low, it's like
During
free
that
money.
period, yeah, exactly. It was like free money.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then as far as other things, like as I said, SBA, land, we do second mortgages, which are a fixed payment on the equity, cash out refis, we do commercial, we do people with no FICO scores, we do people who are not American citizens, foreign nationals.
Okay.
Man, you just can't name something you don't
So
do.
what do you mean by people with no FICO scores?
Let's say they didn't have like FICO, like they took no lines of credit.
Okay.
right? So
So they basically don't have any credit out there.
exactly.
Yeah, they never built it.
Yeah, so
Good
there's
stuff.
there's still ways to get financing that way, and
Wow.
people that can only qualify with bank statements or
Mhm.
P&L
Okay.
statements or assets or or like,
So how do people get a hold of you? We have about 20 seconds.
okay. You can call me at 520-334-9330 and just ask for Maximilian. I'll pick up.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, thank
Good
you so
stuff.
much for
Yeah,
being
thanks,
on
man.
with us today.
All right, thank you
Good
guys.
stuff.
Appreciate being here.
And welcome back to the Guys Next Door. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, and today on our second segment here, we have Andreas Reese.
Yes, sir.
How-
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate this.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. Really enjoy your presence, and I just want to say, I really enjoy you and who you are. Like
thank
what you
you.
represent. So I'm really grateful for you.
Well, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
Yeah, I feel
For
the same
sure.
way about you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's been
it.
a while since
I know.
we've gotten together.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You have all kinds of things going on. So
Yeah. So I pretty much, I do motivational speaking. I do a lot of speaking for high schools, colleges. I've done some middle schools, elementary recently, because I just recently wrote a children's book. So I've been reading to the little ones. That's a lot of fun. Really enjoy that. And then I also do some work for like nonprofits.
okay.
Next, I'll be speaking at Banner to like security counselors.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that
Yeah.
one. And then I'm also going to be doing some stuff for TUSD to the counselors, and I mean, I'm just so grateful to be able to provide service to many people that I could have never imagined myself providing services for.
Yeah. I think at one point you were talking to some high school teams, weren't you? Like some different athletics.
Yeah, so I've coached some athletes, like
Okay.
college players. I've coached some ex-NFL players and some arena football players as well.
Oh,
So
cool.
I've had the privilege of doing that, and then I've also coached kids who were in high school soccer or football,
Okay.
just helping them around the mindset. I'm not a very good football player, but
Right.
I can help them with their mind. So for sure, yeah. So that's kind of like the people that I've been coaching, and for the most part, I'm coaching business owners and entrepreneurs,
Okay.
just helping them with self-doubt and procrastination and burnout. Just to make sure
Yeah.
that they're having more confidence, being more productive, and just making more money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think just being more productive and being happier, you'll make more money because you can do more.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I try to do with clients is sometimes it could be in a relationship. And I had a client who was struggling in his marriage with his wife, and it was draining his energy, was making him feel bad, was making him feel depressed. I helped him get better with his wife. His relationship was better.
Sure.
His energy went up, his productivity 30% X. I mean, it was just so amazing to see this guy transform. And he was telling me, man, I'm so grateful. My wife and I are not getting a divorce after all.
Yeah.
So that was just beautiful to get that testimonial. And when it comes to productivity, it's not just being productive, making sure you're doing time blocking. You got to make sure you're taking care of yourself, your emotions.
Oh yeah.
It's an emotional roller coaster, especially when you own a business.
Yeah.
It can get really wild. And
Yeah.
you know that.
I do. I
So-
do. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I try to be on my bike 4 times a week
Yeah.
because
Good
it's
job.
like therapy.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
You just
You
getting
need
out
that.
there and yeah, you need it. It
Mhm.
kind of clears your mind,
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I know when you're riding that bike, I mean, you're just in the zone. You're just
Yeah.
present, and you're not thinking about anything but that bike and that,
Yeah.
the
The nature
mountain.
around you. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Trying not to fall off the cliff or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something that's really important for entrepreneurs and business owners to just remember. Hey, you gotta have a little bit of fun sometimes. Don't forget the fun piece, because when you go out there and have fun and you have some time to just think, you come up with some ideas that you're like, oh, you know what?
You
That's a good
do,
idea.
yeah.
That's one of the best time to think. I
Yeah.
actually have a block time every day for 30 minutes to just think.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Okay.
block. And some people are telling me, so what is this thinking block? Well, I just think. That's all I do. I just
Yeah.
think for 30 minutes
Yeah.
and just think about ideas or just think about gratitude, whatever it is. But it
Yeah.
really helps out a lot to just be able to think about, okay, well, what do I want to create next?
Right. And also doing the activity, you can get rid of the negative thoughts too.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know?
For me, what's helped me a lot is just journaling.
Oh.
Journaling my thoughts that maybe I'm having some challenges with somebody said something or did something that I didn't appreciate.
Right.
And then I'll forgive them.
Yeah.
I'll forgive them, and it will help me feel better. And I also forgive myself. That's something that has just transformed my life, just to be able to forgive myself, because you can't give what you don't have. If you don't
Yeah.
forgive yourself, you can't forgive people. So if you're constantly being hard on yourself, you're going to be hard on other people as well. So that forgiveness has really transformed the way that I look at life. And I highly recommend people just forgiving people, because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's like you're drinking your own poison, your own anger.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve you.
Okay. So how did you get into mentoring and coaching?
So before this, I was doing, I was just working jobs, call center jobs that I really didn't enjoy at all. They were really boring. I hated
Right.
them. I was just constantly dreading going to work. And then I heard a motivational speaker, Les Brown, and he said something that really impacted my life. He said, many people will leave the universe without a trace, and under their name you can put not used up.
Oh, wow.
And I said, oh man, I know that I have not been used up. I know that I can do more in my life. And that's when I got started in the path of just following my dreams. And I've always had
Okay.
a dream ever since I was 12 years old to be a comedian. So I started doing stand-up comedy.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that about you. Yeah.
I got to be honest. I was terrible. I was not good at all. I still recall this one time, this lady was right in the front. She's a sweet old lady, and she was eating, and then she looked up and she went,
She just shook her head no.
she just shook her head like, this guy, no.
You're
What
in
is
the wrong
this?
place.
You're in the wrong place. But that then eventually took me to public speaking. So somebody
Okay.
told me, hey, you're not that good of a comedian. Maybe you should do something
Yeah.
to improve it. So I got into public speaking. I got better as a comedian. The lady wasn't shaking her head anymore. But but then I got into public speaking, where I just went to go speak for free at middle schools, high schools.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually somebody said, hey, how much do you charge? And I said, oh my God, you want to pay me? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when I started getting paid for that. And then people started asking me, hey, dude, like, how did you do it, man? Like, you're always been a shy guy. You're just doing public speaking. And that's when I got into coaching.
Okay.
And then the coaching led to me just coaching and then speaking part-time.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the first year when I made $10,000. I was so excited. I mean, I was still working a job.
Right.
Obviously, I couldn't live off of $10,000 a year. But it was like, oh, my God, I can make money off of this.
Yeah.
And I just kept working my full-time job with part-time speaking. And then eventually I saw that my income as a part-time employee, as a part-time business owner, was making more than my full-time. And that's when I took the
Yeah.
leap. I said, okay, let's check it out. And
That's what dreams are made of.
that's what dreams are made of, man.
Yeah.
And after I did that, that's when I started writing books. And then that's when I started my the radio show with John back
Right.
in 2020. And it's just been an amazing journey. I feel truly blessed to be able to do what I do, man. And I just absolutely love what I do. Every day I wake up, I can honestly say I'm excited for the day. Every day, when people say I hate Mondays, I absolutely love Mondays. I love Mondays. I may sound like a psycho or something, but
It's a new opportunity.
yes, I love Monday. I love
Yeah.
every day. Yeah.
Great. So you have a newer radio show
Mhm.
that you're doing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's the Hispanic Alliance radio show. That's where we highlight the business owners that are in the Hispanic community, but also the non-Hispanic business owners, because I'm trying to bridge the gap between the Hispanic-owned businesses and the non-Hispanic-owned businesses. I feel that there's a lot of money being left on the table and a lot of opportunity to connect with people that's being left on the table, that I want to bridge that gap. I want to bring
Okay.
people, because I work with non-Hispanic and Hispanic communities.
Sure.
And I see that in the Hispanic community, there's a lot of people that are saying, well, I'm just sticking to my people. I just want to help my people. I'm thinking, but you speak English, you can take advantage of doing business with both.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and also the Hispanic owned businesses, they speak English too. So
Yeah.
I'm also telling the non-Hispanic owned businesses, hey, these people want to do business with you too. They speak English.
Yeah.
Not just because they're in the Hispanic community, they also understand you.
Right.
So-
Right. Yeah. If someone has services and they offer them out to the public, I mean, you want to have a big of a client base as you can
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and serve the entire population if you can.
Why not? I mean, it's out there, so
Yeah.
might as well.
Everyone's money spends the same, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you can serve a larger portion of the population, then
Yeah.
you know, it's even better.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to bridge that gap. That's the whole mission, I guess.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. It's always
Yeah.
good to have a mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way you have a direction to go.
Exactly. Yeah. So
So you're talking about a little bit about you authored some books. Can you tell us?
yeah. So far I've written, and I was having a conversation with somebody today. I have 10 books, but
10
really
books.
I have 11
Okay.
because one of them I co-authored with a few people. So I wasn't counting that, but I said, okay, well, I'll count that one. So
Okay.
really 11. I'm currently working on 12 and 13 right now.
Oh, wow.
And 12 is going to be coming out in July. So I haven't said that to anybody. So I just said that.
July's in a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Few
So
days.
late July.
Okay. All right.
But it was just in the works right now. And it's called Motivation Mastery, the ultimate blueprint of motivation. So
okay.
it's just about mindset and motivation, because I
Yeah.
see a lot of people are struggling with motivation. So I'm working on that. And then my favorite book was I Believe in Myself, The Adventures of Abram. That's based off my son.
Ah.
So it's a children's book.
Okay.
And he thinks he's really cool because it's based on him. And the illustrator did an amazing job. If you see the pictures, you see the picture of myself. He kind of made me look like King of the Hill, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I'm working on potentially writing another children's book. And
Wow.
I've been reading to kids. It's been a beautiful experience, and it's just an opportunity for me to serve. And just recently, I gave some books to some college students, actually
Okay.
high school students going to college. And those were donated by United Hearts of Southern Arizona and also Balika HRA. So these two women, they came to me and they said, "Hey, I want to sponsor some youth," and they sponsored these youth, and they bought them books and bracelets, and pretty soon I'm going to be giving other people opportunities to sponsor juvenile detention kids, where I'm going to be going and speaking to
wow.
them.
Okay.
And, I'm going to give companies the opportunity to sponsor these kids, to buy them books and bracelets, personal development books. So anybody that's listening, companies or organizations that want to provide that for these young men who are in the juvenile detention center,
Mm-hmm.
please let me know. And I'd be happy to, we're going to highlight your business, but at the same time, you're going to be giving to these young men.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty diverse that you're doing children's books and you're doing like business and motivational books. I mean, that's you're pulling from different parts of your brain, to write that.
Yeah. It's just been an interesting journey. It's just been pulling me in different directions where, my son was telling me, "Oh, it'd be cool you had a children's book." And I said, "Well, yeah, why not? I mean, why not try that as well?" So yeah, just trying to diversify it, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to serve
Yep.
all kinds of ages in the community. So
Right. So how do people reach you?
yeah, so you can send me an email at ibelievecal@gmail.com. You can check out my website at ibelieveinmyself.org. I'm on Facebook, Andres Ruiz, LinkedIn, Andres Ruiz, Instagram, Andres Ruiz Motivates, and then I'm also on TikTok, I Believe in Myself, 4 life. And that's my information.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you for being on with us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Crest Insurance, Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson Tamale, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We'll see you next week.